Hey, gun people. So, I'm talking to a few people in the old county Yolo, and I'm hearing that Reisig is finally having to run a campaign. Jeff Reisig, people that's been following me for a while, the crooked DA that I worked for several years, I worked with for over a decade, but worked with him for a few years. Anyway, if you want to watch my other videos, you can tell on all the crooked stuff he did. But he's running against, somebody's actually running against him. And it's kind of funny on politics for people that you guys who have never been involved in politics and haven't seen how these things happen. Let me tell you, man, it gets dirty. I mean, Reisig ran the dirtiest campaign I've ever seen in my life. And like I said, I knew him before, and I thought he was a good prosecutor and a good guy. And then I watched him run his campaign and his dirty tricks and the way he bashed people that didn't support him and how he intimidated people and how he would run you out of the office if you didn't say good things and how he isolated you if you wouldn't endorse him. And, you know, and the people that didn't endorse him, once he got elected, how he screwed them over and moved them to crap assignments. I mean, he is just such the low of the low. I mean, look. You're going to run across people in life who are, you know, throughout life that you're not going to like and that you don't agree, and they're on different sides of the fence on certain objects. But to be really dirty and to ruin people's lives, to hide evidence, to manipulate the courts, to use your position of power to ruin people's lives, I mean, you got to be a special kind of low. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's dirtier politicians than him, but in my life, Jeff Reisig is the lowest of the low, and I can't believe he keeps getting reelected because nobody runs against him, and now somebody's running against him. And not only is people running against him, there's division in the office. There's a lot of people in the office that don't want him reelected, that knows he's crooked, that knows he's not worthy of the power and the position, and he doesn't work for the people. He works for himself and his own ego and his own re-election. There's people in the office that know that now, and some of them have contacted me and they've kind of given me the dirt. And Larry Eichley, who I used to work with, he was one of the deputy DAs. I think he's a supervisor now. He's always been a pretty sharp troop. He was going to run against Reisig in the office, and Reisig started writing him up the same ploy Reisig does on anybody. If you go against him, if you call him out on his crooked stuff, he will start starting fake investigations, start writing you up for BS. Because, I mean, to be honest, in all government, there's so many rules and regulations and policies, and if they want you, they can get you. Most of the times, they ignore most of the stuff unless they want you. Well, in Reisig's world, if you go against him, or you point out that he's crooked, or you try to call him out on his crooked stuff, man, he will come after you with everything. And I know firsthand of what he's capable of. And, you know, I had a stellar career in the military and civilian law enforcement, worked with the Secret Service, guarded several presidents. I've got medals and commendation. I mean, look, I'm not blowing my horn, but I had a very, very good career, and as soon as I went against this guy, I said, look, I'm not going to be party to you hiding evidence and trying to get somebody convicted of a death penalty because you want to win and you don't want to play by the rules. Man, he just, the things he did, I mean, the lies he told. This guy, remember, when I was fighting him, I got on the stand, took an oath, swore to tell the truth, and said everything I said was true, and I was willing to take a lie detector. Jeff Reisig wouldn't do that, and he still won't do it. And something in this thing that some of the guys are telling me, evidently he hooked up with some court reporter, and now he's married. And I don't know if he's really married or not, because in his first election, he was just dating this girl, and he started telling everybody on the campaign he was married, because he said, if people would rather vote for a married guy, a family man. I mean, that's just the way he thinks. Everything he does, he would sell his mother to the cartel if he thought it would get him votes or money to get him votes. So, I mean, if he is married, in my book, he probably just married her so he could say, hey, I got to run, and now I can say I'm married and I'm a family man. But anyway, he's just such a weasel. I mean, I've never met anybody so dishonest as this guy. And what people ought to do who are looking for dirt or things to call him out on is what happened to his first wife. Because he was never married. He just started telling everybody on the campaign, this is my wife, because it sounded good. So if he was married, what happened to his first wife? Where's the divorce pay? Where'd they get divorced? Where'd they get married? Now, as soon as I started asking questions like, dude, you probably shouldn't be calling her your wife if you're not going to get married. I said, that's going to come out. He's like, well, I'll just tell them that we had a private ceremony. Nobody needs to know. I mean, he's always got a quick answer and a fast. If you work with this guy for any length of time, and that's why there's division in the office right now. He's been around for a while, and they're watching and they're learning. He can't keep his dirt, covered up so long. So, I mean, I think it's great that somebody's running against him. I hope the voters of Yolo kind of wake up and go, look, I'm not a big incumbent guy anyway. I mean, even if I don't know you, I don't like people making their living in power and government. It just creates bad things. It creates cliques. And Reisig has certain people that owe him, and he's got dirt on people, and those people he has dirt on owe him. And they know that he can use that dirt. And everyone he surrounded himself around, everyone that he promoted, he always had dirt on. He promoted and surrounded himself with people he could control. And you control people when you have dirt on them, because then they can never say no to you. And I mean, that's just the lowest of the despicable to have in power. So, for him, now that people have been around for a while, and Larry Eichley, who again, one of the DAs who announced that he was going to run against him, immediately Reisig started writing him up, and Reisig's MO is, I'll give you a lot of cases, I'll give you things, he's going to give Eichley cases he can't win. He'll start telling him, why weren't you on this? He'll give him cases late, and when he doesn't do a good job, he'll say, you failed, you dropped the ball, you aren't competent. He'll totally start stacking the deck using his power and corruption, and he'll use the other people around him that are scared of him to totally bash. Now, Eichley's still in the office, but I'm telling you, Larry, your days are numbered. As soon as Reisig gets reelected, you're gone. I mean, he's gonna ruin your reputation. He's gonna bash you. He's gonna write you up. He's gonna make you sign an agreement that you will never talk bad about him or tell anything about him, and then he won't trash you. But Larry, you got a world of hate coming because you went against this guy, and he is the evil, the worst of the evilest. And he's going to use his power to smash you. So look out, Larry. Fair warning. You're a good guy. I'm proud that you stood up. I wish other people would stand up, but I understand in the office under Reisig, there's this fear, there's this intimidation, there's this, don't go against this guy or he will ruin you, he will fire you, he will make your life miserable, he will do anything he can to try and disparage you, to make you seem like you have no credibility to go against him. I hope this other guy wins. I'll put in, I went to his site, he's got a few endorsements. I'll probably cut that in a video, but I'm kind of happy that somebody's actually making him run. I'm happy that the people, even the people who were supporting him when I was turning him in for hiding evidence and doing that crooked crap, there were people that were like, man, you shouldn't do that, and he would never do that, and why would you say he did that? Because they didn't know, and they just believed his side. Well, now they know him. And now even a guy that worked with him that was prosecuting the case where I said he was hiding evidence, just came out and said, yeah, he was intimidating witnesses, he was talking, I mean, and again, I'm being told this, I haven't talked, I think it's Larry Walker, he couldn't testify in my incident because he was overseas, he was a pilot in the Air Force, and he was overseas during that time. But he, from what I'm being told, he even came out and said, yeah, Reisig was crooked. And he was telling things. And everything that I said in my letter, look, was true. It was a big fight. The media, blew it up. Everybody, he tried to fire me. I got my job back. I ended up quitting. I wouldn't work for him. Everybody's like, go back to work, man. You'll get more money. He'll fire you again. He's going to come after you again. And I was like, I'm not going through all that BS for this piece of shit. He's got all the decks stacked in his favor. So I retired, which is okay with me, but he is the worst of the worst, man. And I'm telling you, anybody in Yolo, even if you don't like me or you don't agree with what I say, power corrupts absolutely. Reisig, DAs have absolute power. He has cliques. He has people that owe him. Anytime you can change government and get new perspective in there, in Britain, and I think they still do it, prosecutors have to switch jobs every year or every couple years. So you're prosecuting for a couple years, then you have to go be a defense attorney. And when you're a defense attorney a couple years, then you have to go be a prosecutor. And I always liked that system because it made it equal. Everybody knew the playing field, and you didn't have people just constantly. In America, you know, especially in DA's office, once a DA gets elected, they're in there forever. So they build this power structure around them. They build this fear, intimidation, and they fire anybody they don't like and anybody that doesn't agree with them. So they only surround themselves with people they can control or that agree with them, and that's how you breed corruption. Changing Reisig, he's been there for I don't know how long. I mean, you know, he's like every politician. When he ran, I'm only going to do this for 1 or 2 terms. I'm going to do something. He ain't done nothing but sit and hide in public life. He can't go out and get a real job, so he has to, you know, use his power to keep his power. And he doesn't do his job. His job is keeping his job and keeping people around him that can keep his job and threatening, etc. So, good luck to, I think it's, I don't want to. So I wanted to include this just to back up my point. I mean, remember Reisig, he had to testify in this thing, and he was so nervous. He was like the worst witness I've ever seen in my 30 years of law enforcement. He wouldn't look up. He was drinking water. His lips were dry. He kept saying, I don't know, I don't remember. So just to show you, I've got a transcript of that interview where they interviewed him, and I put in recall because he kept saying, I do not recall. So real quick, just to show you how many times Reisig said his answer, A is his answer, his question, I don't recall. Next. I don't recall. Next. I really don't recall. Next. I don't recall. Next. I really don't recall. Next. Recall was brought up. I don't recall that ever being used. I don't recall saying that. I don't recall saying that. I mean, we actually showed him, my attorney pulled out emails that he answered me and I answered him and showed him. And his answer was, I don't recall. I don't recall. I mean, when a witness just says, and I'll just go through this, I mean, it was just amazing. I don't recall. I don't recall. It was over like 30 or 35 times in his little hour-and-a-half interview that he said, I don't recall. I don't recall. This is all Jeffrey. This is the DA who's supposed to be top-notch. And when he gets in front, when he has to be sworn in and he's about to get caught, and what's sad is even though he said, I don't recall 30 times on all my allegations, the lawyer, the judge, the mediator, still said that wasn't proof. Because I said it and I remembered it, but he didn't recall saying it, the judge ruled that wasn't proof. And that's why all the allegations were deemed, according to the Yolo County investigation, deemed unsubstantiated and they were false allegations because I couldn't prove them. I couldn't prove it because freaking Reisig kept lying and saying, I don't recall, I don't recall, I don't recall. So anyway, I just wanted to add that in there. I mean, people, it's hard to believe that this guy is a sitting DA I mean, when he gets in front of a judge and he has to swear to an oath, the only thing he can say is, I don't recall. Anyway, I hope the other guy wins, and we'll see how it turns out. And Larry, man, good luck, man, because Reisig's going to come after you with both barrels if he wins. We'll end that there.